Everybody, and welcome back to Welcome Home with Dole Whip Dad. I should have fixed that down there. It says Welcome Home with Dole Whip Dad. It should say, and Kadani Sean, my friend, is here. What's going on, my man? How are you tonight?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Let's say hi to the chat. Francisco, let's go Dodgers. That's right, baby. 8-3. The good guys are winning. BDF, that's Keith. What's going on, my man? Jan S. Disney, 1974 in the house. What's going on? Jan, I actually thought of you. I was texting my sister, who was born in 1974, and I thought of Jan S. Disney, 1974. So there. Also the year Steve Garvey won the MVP. Yes, I'm a Dodgers fan. You're welcome. Anyway.
He was one of my favorite players, by the way.
He is my favorite all-time player.
Mm-hmm.
Have I told
George
you?
Brett.
Oh, I love George Brett too. No way.
Mm-hmm.
I had a meeting scheduled to meet Steve Garvey right before I moved out. I know, and I didn't get to do it. It got canceled. He canceled it. I had a friend who was at his business. It doesn't matter. And then we moved away. I'm so sad about it. I bumped into him, but an autograph is different than actually having lunch with a guy, which I almost got to do. Anyway, Loving Disworld in the house, Booming Jesus in the house. What's going on, my friends? So we're going to talk about DVC stuff. That's Kadani Sean. He's kind of named after a DVC. I'll let him tell the story. But we've got a big Disney news item, actually a Disney Vacation Club news item we're going to talk about. Corner Sports in the house, Michael Riley in the house, Destination Timeshare in the house. Really glad you guys are here. Have you heard the DVC news, Mr. Kadani?
I have. I read that yesterday. It was very interesting.
It's kind of a big one.
It is.
125-point minimum now required for member perks, effective immediately. This is everywhere. I'm taking this off of DVC News. I saw it yesterday on the the DVC website, I guess as well. But it's all over the place. You know what? Disney bloggers kind of just take the stuff from Disney and then rewrite it, and I might start doing that myself. Anyway, effective immediately, Disney Vacation Club has increased the number of direct purchase points, and owner must be eligible for membership magic perks. My wife won't even tell me where the blue card is. I am not allowed to know where the blue card is. That's how big of a deal it is in my house.
I have my blue card. I'm not giving my blue card up.
It's like gold. It's the golden ticket from Willy Wonka or something. Part of your world adventures in the house. Brian NASCAR in the house. Detroit Disney Duo. By the way, thank you for being green. It ain't easy being green. That kind of is actually. You just sign up for membership on the channel. You turn green in chat. You get some emojis, and you make me and my wife super, super happy. Appreciate it. It's a blessing to my channel. Let's keep talking about this. The DVC members only website has been updated to reflect a minimum of 125 point ownership to access most member perks. The new disclaimer added to the site says this: effective yesterday, it actually says October 19th, to obtain a Disney Vacation Club membership card, that beautiful blue membership card that's on it's on the thumbnail. You can't use that one, though, I don't think. You could try. I doubt it would work. Must accumulate a total of at least 125 vacation points purchased directly from Disney Vacation Development. Kadani Sean, when did you become a member of DVC? It's a few years back now, right?
Yeah, we joined in February, March of 2010.
So the rules were very different then, right?
Oh, the rules were vastly different.
Yes.
We actually had a trip planned for the summer of 2010, 2 nights at Vero Beach that we paid out of pocket for. And then we were going to stay at, I can't remember what resort, and it was fully paid for. We had bought the dining package, paid for tickets, the My Magic Your Way package. And we had done a viewing, an appointment where we got to go see one of the rooms, and it was really cool. Kind of walked around, no pressure to buy, and we didn't buy right then. And we got a mailer in the mail, and my wife called me at work and said, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I'd been trying. Our first trip was in 2006, so in 2006 I was trying to buy Vacation Club, and when she called me to say, "Hey, we've got this, and it's an opportunity," I jumped on it. She gave me the green light. I was going to go. We were able to cancel that trip, get 100% of our money back. We put it down on the Vacation Club, minus the pay for annual passes. Back then, we got 4 annual passes at $3.99 each, and those were the premier. That's when they had that special where you could get the premier pass, all parks, the water parks, Disney Quest, all of that for $3.99. So we did that. Paid for the dining. We paid for the dining plan at the time when you got a dessert and an appetizer. Wow! All of that. And it was just amazing. And we joined in
2016, not even that long ago. Is that what you said? 26 or no?
2010.
You said 2010.
2010. So yeah, they gave us when we bought it was a much cheaper price point. They gave us
I don't even want
points.
Yeah,
I won't tell you.
I'll cry.
But we got points for that 2010, but they also gave us the points for 2009. So we bought 200 points, so they gave us 400 points right off the bat. So we had my going into it with them is I want to be able to take the same exact dates for our vacation, and I want 2 nights at Vero Beach, and then we stayed at our home resort in a studio, Savannah View, and I just fell in love with Animal Kingdom Lodge in general. I mean, it's just, I walk into it, to me, it's like the Taj Mahal. I walk into it and I'm like a little kid in a candy store.
It's pretty amazing. It really is. So I've told my story before, but I'll tell a quick version of it. When we were doing the sales pitch, we weren't buying. I wasn't even listening. We were still not buying. But it's pretty cool. Like the zebras are going by, and we like that theming. Is that the right way to say that?
Yes.
We really like. It's part of our house actually looks like that. We really, really like that. So we were just enjoying it and having a good time and having the free snacks and watching the zebras go by and watching the giraffe cruise around. And we haven't stayed there yet. I can't imagine staying there. I remember before I knew you, your name stood out because Kidani Sean. So it's a good segue. I don't know if it's a good segue, but it's my segue. Well, tell me about why you named yourself on YouTube Kidani Sean.
I joined YouTube. It was a little while ago, but I never really used it. And then 2 years ago, I was just sitting at home. I work from home, so I'm sitting here and I'm on account. Well, I've been working from home for about 12, 13 years.
Oh, wow, nice.
I absolutely love it. But sometimes I get bored and I'm sitting on calls. So I've got 3 monitors. So one monitor's got, the conference call, webinar, whatever I'm on. So over here, let's watch some videos. So I just wanted to see some ride videos, and I found Resort TV 1. That's how I found everyone. And I'm like, I need to change my name, because then it was just my name on there.
Sean.
Just a version of my name. Right. And so I'm like, what? And so I kept playing. I think I changed it 2 or 3 times until I finally came up with Kidani Sean, because Kidani's our home resort. I love the place. Perfect. And my first name just kind of fell in place.
Kind of fits better than Kidani Jeff, because, Love in Disney World. I think I said hi. Wayfinding with Emma's in the house. What's going on? Destination Timeshare had a good question. I read about the news too. Did they grandfather in those with 100?
Yes.
Points? Yeah. So our card still works. I think they did that I think 2016 is when they made the biggest jump and the biggest change. But they used to pass out the blue card pretty well, from what I hear, pretty easily. Now it's a little more serious. I should ask you, the veteran.
Well, from what I remember in 2016, when they made the big change, before then, if you bought through resale, you got the blue card. Or it actually back then it wasn't even a blue card. It was a different kind of card, but it said Vacation Club on it.
It was still the golden ticket.
It was still the golden ticket. But yeah, when they made that big change in 2016, and I think if I remember right, they mentioned about a year ago or sometime last year or even earlier this year that this was coming.
Yeah, I read it on the blog. I don't think Disney. I don't want to be a liar here. I'm pretty sure that Disney hadn't mentioned it, but lots of people had said it was coming. Yeah. So you never know, but
so
seems to leak out pretty easily.
I've got my blue card, so my wife and I, we've been toying with the idea of buying some more points, but we kind of holding off. But if we do, we'll probably do it on the resale because it is cheaper. I mean, since I've got the blue card, I'm not too concerned about it. But yeah,
I'm a huge Dodgers fan. The Dodgers are in the World Series. They only sold 9,500 tickets per game in blocks of 4. So only about 2,500 people bought them. I bought Game 7. I got lucky. I won, and I have Game 7 tickets. And the Dodgers made it, and so I hope to go. But if the Dodgers made it against the Yankees and tickets went through the roof, I was already telling wifey, I mean, if the prices go up and it's a DVC contract, I'll watch the game on TV. I mean, it's hard.
Sometimes you just gotta weigh those situations. You really do.
Like stupid kids and grandkids. If I stopped loving them so much, I would love it too. It's like, when I change, this is so not DVC, but it kind of is. When I changed jobs about 10 years ago, I'm a big goals guy, and I wrote down, I think it was a list of like 100 things that I really wanted to do before I leave this planet. And a bunch of stuff, go to a UFC, blah, 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 a bunch of crazy things that have nothing to do with anything. But one of them was to go to a Dodgers Game 7 when they won. Well, that's a pretty hard to get thing, right? the Dodgers don't go to the World Series every year. Who does, right? B, they haven't won since '88. I was in high school. C, Game 7s only happen 30 to 50% of the time. And D, they have to win. So that was a pretty stupid, unrealistic thing. Well, and then I moved to Texas, but the game's right down the road. I can't believe I won the lottery to win the tickets. So it would have been hard for me to walk away from, but
I just hope it gets to a Game 7 so you can go.
Oh my gosh, so do I. So I was downstairs. I'm kind of a nut for it, and so I'm screaming happy thoughts downstairs, and my kids are like, "Are we going?" I'm like, "It's just Game 1." Well, why are you happy? Are we? Is it? Just leave me alone. I'll explain it when we're done. But anyway, so Kadani Sean came because your home resort is DVC, but you've got this Vero Beach. Well, why Vero Beach? Tell me more about Vero Beach.
We had never taken our kids to the ocean. I mean, I live in Indiana. Wow. Come on. So we had never.
Come on, get to the beach.
Right. So we've never been to the beach. So when we planned our trip that year, it was like, we decided we wanted to go to a Disney resort. So we paid, like I said, out of pocket for 2 nights, which not cheap at a DVC resort.
Yeah.
We paid for 2 nights to stay at Vero Beach, which again, we were able to, get our money back and use points. So we went to Vero Beach just so that we could say we stayed there, went once. We've always talked
Dodgers spring training, by the way, just throwing that out there. Dodgers.
But yeah, we talk about going back. We haven't gone back to the ocean or the beach. I'm not a huge beach person. I like to be able to see in the water I can swim in. So that's just me. But yeah, it's
no, I mean that makes sense. As someone who's had plenty of living thing rub up against their leg in San Diego. Sometimes,
yeah, the kids they had a great time at Vero Beach, and that was one of the things. We've stayed at the beach club. Absolutely love it. The Sandy Bottom pool, Stormalong Bay. I mean, it's one of the best. It is the best pool on property.
So
Disney World.
That's it. Wait a minute. Where is that at Vero? I'm confused.
No, that's at Beach Club.
Okay, yeah. So tell me about Vero Beach. Is it a Disney trip? When you go to Vero Beach, is it a Disney trip? I mean,
it's different. I mean, the resort's Disney. It's themed a little. It's themed Disney, but there's 1 or 2 restaurants there. I think there used to be a restaurant called Shutters, maybe, and then they had a fast food place. You could get Mickey ice cream bars and things like that, but
sure.
It didn't feel like I was at Disney like I am when I'm at Disney.
That's what I was wondering. Like,
it was nice. I think I spent more time in the actual pool than I did the ocean. We spent one day.
You want to see? I gotcha. Yeah.
In the ocean. I mean, we had some of those body boards, and my son was
out trying to wife in the ocean.
Right. But I mean, it's a cool resort. I mean, my goal is to stay at every DVC resort at some point. I'd like to get to Hilton Head and stay there, for a few nights, not do maybe a week's trip, a couple nights, and just to say that I've been there, experienced the resort and what it all has to offer around the area. But I've stayed just about every resort. I haven't stayed in the Treetop Villas. I haven't stayed in them. I haven't stayed at the Riviera yet, but I am booked to stay at the Riviera on my next trip.
So which is that the one that I was going to ask you? Which one has been your favorite, and which one is the one you most want to go to? You've kind of hinted at those, but I'll ask you.
Okay, so it's like when people ask you what are your favorite park. Which one's your favorite park? I like all the parks for different reasons. I can't pick a favorite park. I will say Animal Kingdom is really growing on me because I used to really love Epcot, but Animal Kingdom is really starting to grow on me. I will tell you my favorite resort is my home resort.
Park right there, by the way.
My favorite resort is my home resort. I love it. But if I'm not staying in Animal Kingdom, I do love Bay Lake Tower. Being able to walk out of Bay Lake Tower and walk to Magic Kingdom is really cool.
That's amazing, right? I mean, it's right there.
It's right there.
Some of the best views of the fireworks are. What's the place up top? I can't think of the name of it.
Top of the World.
Top of the World, of course. Yeah, Top of the World.
Yeah. So we stayed there. We were on the 14th floor, I think. And we used points for a lake view, and we had a view of Bay Lake, which is back behind, and we also had a side view, so I could see the castle. I could see all of Magic Kingdom. So they had the one channel you could turn it on, and they'd play. At that time, it was Wishes, so they played Wishes. So you can see the fireworks from your room, and they're playing music. So, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
I've not stayed. Well, I've stayed in compared to you hardly any. I don't know. Like, I think Vero Beach, I used to really want to go to Vero Beach again. I joked about it, but because of my Dodgers. But the ones, I want to do all of them that are there. in California and in Orlando, and then obviously I want to do the ones in Alani. I want to do Alani. I don't know. I can't imagine using my points, but you didn't either. You want to go see the beach, so I get that. Interesting stuff. Hey, Fulton, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for sharing that. Hey, Tina, you're never late. You're here, and I appreciate it. Tommy earlier said, when I joined in 97, minimum was 150 points to buy in, and to add on, you could buy minimum of 25 points. We bought less than 150. I don't know. I always not sure. I should ask Paula, but we have hardly any points compared to most people. I'm hoping very much to do more. This year I've been playing in the stock market, and I'm hoping to, at the end of the year, which I won't get there, have enough to buy a contract. I mean, maybe the end of next year now, but that's kind of my goal. And we'll see. I don't know. I'd also like to retire someday, so maybe I should probably not buy DVC points all the time. But anyway, I think that for me, my home is the Poly. The Riviera is the new place I want to check out the most. And the last time I was there, I cruised around the boardwalk with my friends, which for the first time made me really love that. So I'd love to check out that whole area. If you got another contract, where would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I play downstairs in my pile of mail. There's one of those flyers from DVC. Hey, if you add on now at the 3 or 4 different resorts, and Wilderness Lodge is one of them, Alani's one of them. It's a really good deal, and I get those. You get them seems like every Thursday you get them.
Right.
It kind of lets me dream a little bit, so I kind of love it.
There's
no wrong answer, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, I thought about Copper Creek only because we did stay there on our last trip. We stayed there. We added a night, and we were able to get one night there, the very last night. So we stayed there, and we really liked it. And we'd actually stayed many years ago. We paid for a one-night concierge level at the Wilderness Lodge.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
And that was really
follow up on that.
And that was really cool.
That.
So, and again, it was just one night.
Wait. Concierge at Wilderness, right? Is that what you just said?
Correct. Yes, yeah, okay. Concierge at Wilderness. I've also done the concierge at Animal Kingdom.
That's where my brain went. I thought, okay, so good.
I've done both. Now, with Animal Kingdom, obviously we stayed on points, and it was over spring break, and that was back when trying to think. It was back in, I think, right around 2014, I think, and they were still doing the sunrise safari, so you could pay to do a sunrise safari. So we had to be up at like 5 a.m. to ride over on Disney Magical Express buses, and they took us backstage. We weren't allowed to film of Animal Kingdom, and we rode Kilimanjaro safaris for an hour.
Wow.
And we were out there, I mean, literally the giraffes walking right by the truck. And the lion and the lionesses were up around, and they were roaring really loud. And I mean, and I got it on the little DV tape that I've never converted over. So I need to do that sometime, but that was the best trip.
I hear you can hear the lions every morning at the Kidani.
Well, yeah, our guide told us she normally works the sunrise safari or the sunrise savannah there off of Jumbo, and she says every morning when she's working there, she can hear the lion, and sometimes because of the way the wind blows, it carries so loud. Sure. She thinks she's right. The lion's right.
Wow!
And she goes, sometimes it'll freak her out a bit. And I'm like, that's a really cool story.
Oh, I want that job.
Right.
Emma, by the way, Emma, aren't you at Disney right now? Am I crazy? Are my Instagram days off? Yes, I will. I will always remember the trip when we stayed at Bay Lake Tower. I had a view of Space Mountain and everything. Oh, that's cool. I'm pretty sure Emma's down there right now. Tell me about okay, so if somebody doesn't know what concierge level is, let them know what it is. I've never stayed. Okay. Well, I'll shut up. What is concierge?
Okay, so the cool thing, you check in, you go up there. The first thing they offered me was a mimosa, free of charge. So that started it off right. But you stay. It started off, but it's just another level where they have food set out all day, bottled water, canned soda, snacks, hors d'oeuvres, and they just kind of pamper you. You know, you have your own little desk if you want to try to get tickets to something or have them help you get something taken care of. You got people right there that are a little more. How do I want to put it? A little more like at your need for. I can't think of the word.
Kind of a VIP.
Yeah, kind of a VIP, right? So it's a different experience, but like our goal. We want to do it once, but for the points, I'm like a Scrooge when it comes to my points. I try to do everything I can to maximize my points. So, we did it once. I probably won't do it again, but it's really cool.
So I know the most about the poly concierge level. I haven't done it, but I've talked to multiple people who've done it, and obviously, well, whatever. But I've talked to other people who've done other ones. The answer seems to be either, oh my gosh, it's the only way to do it, I love it, or no, it's way too much for the points or the dollars. You've done it twice, so I'm guessing you're going to be on the it's totally worth it, but then you just said
again, it's a cool experience. If you haven't done it, you should always do it at least once. But like I said, for the points, I just, if it's the extra food and the extra little ambiance and things like that, I feel like I get that every time I go to Disney, whether I'm a concierge or not. At least that's for me. And so
it makes me think of this. Like, so I love Epcot. I love Epcot during Food and Wine. I love Epcot all the time. I eat very well. And I eat especially well when I'm at Epcot because World Showcase. So when I'm there, I don't even want to have a food reservation because I'm going to eat my way around World Showcase. When I'm at Disney, I eat really well, as I just said, making me think that I would not find value in the concierge level. So if it's not the food, like they have a great spread for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, drinks, right? The kids can get their little snacks. Outside of food, tell me why I want to do concierge stuff. I've always wanted to ask somebody who's done it, and you've done it multiple times. So
we did Animal Kingdom because of the Sunrise Safari, and that was really cool. They don't do it anymore. So I don't see the value in it if it's just like, as you said, if it's just food, I don't see the value in it. Animal Kingdom, if you don't know, have what's called value rooms. And the rooms are just a shade smaller than a standard studio, but you still get the same size, 2 queen beds, whatever. But they're like 5 points cheaper per night.
Oh, really?
I do everything I can to try to get those when we go, because that means I can do an extra night. I'm all about trying to increase my longevity of staying.
Better, right?
Exactly.
My goal is 365. Not really, kinda. Not really, but kind. I've heard the poly concierge for fireworks is a must do. Have you heard about that? Have you done that? I mean, you would have told me already if you've done it, but
I haven't done that. My wife and daughter, last year we did a trip in 2019. Where my son and I went for spring break because he was graduating college. So we did a father-son trip. Then my daughter graduated high school. So my wife did a mother-daughter trip. And they stayed at the Poly. I haven't stayed at the Poly yet, but they stayed at the Poly. They had a lake view room so they could see the castle and the fireworks while Happily Ever After was playing on the TV.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I was jealous because I was supposed to go and they wouldn't let me go.
Right. My wife takes the girls out. Her mom and dad are in California. And so they go once a year out there. And they also go to Disneyland. And so like the past 10 years, probably my girls and my wife have been to Disneyland probably 8 times. And I've been 0. So it's been like a decade. So I haven't even seen DCA with the Cars Land. I've never seen Cars Land except for on, Resort TV One stream or something. But anyway, it is what it is. Have you done any of the California resorts? Is the segue I'm trying to build.
I've not done any California resorts. I've only been to Disneyland once. And that was because the high school band that my kids were in, they do a trip every 4 years where they march in the Hollywood Christmas Parade.
That's cool.
So cool. When my son was a junior, we got to go out there. So we got one day at Disneyland. And so I went as a chaperone, and I chaperoned at Universal. I chaperoned at the pool. I did everything to chaperone so that when it came time to go to Disneyland, I had done all my work, so I didn't have to chaperone anything, and I could just go ride rides. So I did that, and I still didn't get to ride everything.
Don't die. See you on the bus. Whatever.
right. But so that's the only time I've been to Disneyland. My wife and I, our 25th wedding anniversary is next year, and we were supposed to go to Alani and do 3 or 4 days at Disneyland, but with this year, everything's getting pushed off a couple years now. So.
My 25th anniversary was October 7th, and you know what we did? Slept in, and I'm just kidding. We didn't even do that. We didn't do anything. We keep saying, "Oh, we go out to dinner." We haven't done that. It's just a weird year. It's a weird year. Back to the membership requirements. Members who meet the minimum point requirement are issued that blue member ID card that we've been talking about. With this card, members have access to a variety of dining, rec, 30% off, annual pass discounts. What I want to get to is access to the Moonlight Magic after hours events. Have you done any Moonlight Magic events?
No, I'm bitter about that because I had 2 this year that I had to let go, and I'm not happy.
Would have been like 2 weeks ago for what I was just telling you, our anniversary. But
we had, I can't remember. I think it was Magic Kingdom back at the end of April because we were supposed to be there at the end of April, 1st of May. Obviously, it was completely closed. And then I think it was Hollywood Studios in September. And I had to let that. Well, obviously, we ended up.
I don't even remember what it was. I don't even want to go. I don't want my brain to go there. Like I was really excited.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm going to be there on a night they're having something I can go to for free.
We got lucky. My buddy Kelly, who used to work for him, Kelly Iskra. You guys all know. Anyway, she said, "Hey, by the way, do you know?" She was talking to my wife, and it was all a done deal. And then whatever happened. Like I'm so sick of 2020. Anyway,
yeah, same here.
Tina says, I've been to Animal Kingdom, but there's so few rooms that are club level Savannah rooms. I want Savannah View if I'm going to be at 8K. So Savannah room, obviously, you look at the animals. What's on the other side? I don't even know.
Well, when we stay club level, she's right. We didn't have a view of the Savannah. I had a view of the top of Boma, and I could see out over the pool because we were on the top floor. So we had a view of the pool, but yeah, we didn't have a Savannah view, and I think she's right. There's not very many.
Normally, I don't care about the view. I mean, other people care about the view more than me. I will say this: when we were at the Poly, it was really cool. You could walk right out, and it was beautiful. The grounds are beautiful. Had we been on the other side, we would have been able to see the bay. But I loved my view, is my point. But I do think at Animal Kingdom, it's just different. Like you're gonna want I want to see people walking.
When the kids were younger, Savannah View, when we did stay there, was a must. Now, like my wife and I we did our first trip last September as adults without children. We had never taken a vacation without our kids.
Yeah,
we went last September for the first time, and we stayed in a value room, which we ended up having a view of the Savannah, but we were up on like I think the 4th or 5th floor. So we were kind of high up.
Room and a view?
And a view. I can't complain. That was a huge deal. It was a huge, but I mean, it was great. So I'm not as like you. Well, at least now I'm not as much into the view at Animal Kingdom.
I mean, it's cool, but I don't know if the same points. Yeah, sure, but like you, I want to maximize my points, and I can't imagine it's comparable points wise. Is it? I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything else. It's like at the Poly, Lake View versus Standard View.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you do the Standard View over 5 nights, you can probably add an extra night instead of one less night to stay in a lake view.
Exactly.
It just depends on what you want. I mean, that's what I love about this
program.
What
I want to be rich enough that I don't have to worry about it. But I've got
I'd love to stay in the bungalows and the cabins at the Wilderness Lodge. I'd love to stay in all those.
The Wilderness Lodge one and the ones at Saratoga, the tree houses, that looks amazing. Bill, my man's in here. He said, I figured this would be better income than this baseball game. I got the game right there. He's watching the game. This is the best. This is kind of my jam right here. Look at, if I get to talk DVC with a friend of mine and watch my Dodgers destroy some sad team that doesn't get to beat my Dodgers in the World Series, I'm in a good mood.
That's a great night.
It's a great night. Blue Cheesin says, I bought in 05 Grand Californian. I want to stay at the Grand Californian so bad. So that list that I told you about, the Game 7, Grand Californian Napa Rose 100-point wine is on the list too. I haven't done that one yet. Let's see. Since then, I've been 10 DVC resorts. Bloomin' Cheese, and we need to get you on the show one night, talking about your experiences. Most trips have more than one resort we stay in. Okay. I do prefer Disney Cruise. I remember you told me that once with Castaway Cay. Have you done a cruise yet, Sean?
No. The point exchange for a cruise. A point exchange, using your points for a cruise, the point exchange to me is too high.
Yeah,
and to me, that's not a value. I'd rather pay out of pocket. My wife doesn't want to cruise, so I'd have to go by myself or with some friends.
Oh, she does not want to.
My wife does not want to
cruise. Before the Rona, we were considering the trip that is now was our 3rd trip that we planned. That we're missed one. We'll see how it goes for New Year's Eve. The spring one she was trying to make it a trip, and a cruise, and I'm like, can you count? We're running out of dollars. I'd like to make the mortgage too. We'd be leaving to fly down a week from tomorrow. Tina, yuck. They are great. Been to 2, says Corner Sports. Nice. I love those Savannah view rooms, says Emma. So Emma, you're not at Disney right now? Are you just posting stuff at Disney in preparation for going to Disney? Are you fooling me? Am I not reading enough? probably what it is. Disney exercised their right of first refusal on my sale, my DVC. Oh, I remember you told me that. Sell it to me. So what does that mean, Bill? Does that mean they own it now? Did they buy it at that price?
That means that Disney decided they want to buy that contract back so they can resell it instead of allowing him to buy it.
Does Bill have the choice to sell it? Or
no, what it is Bill was going to buy it, and Disney exercised the right of first refusal, which means they decided to, at least this is what I understand, they decided that they want it instead. So they're buying it from the owner and Bill doesn't get it.
Or if Bill's selling it, he's selling it to Disney, not.
Oh, yeah. Well, if Bill's selling it, then Disney's buying it from him instead of the buyer that was going to buy it.
So either way, does that? I guess it doesn't hurt you then, right? Does it? I don't know.
No, if you're selling it, it doesn't hurt you because if you're selling it for $105 a point, they're going to pay for it. They're going to write you a check, and you're done, just like a buyer would.
I want to have somebody point someday that I consider selling, because right now I can't imagine. I want more, not less. Anyway, I'm going to text you later, Bill. Find out more about that. James, hey James Ryan, my man, how are you, buddy? Love that you're in here. Can't believe you're saying this, but go Dodgers. I mean, it's like being, I don't want to get too religious, but it's like when you dip into the pool and you come out and you're a new man. You're a Dodgers fan now. You're baptized into the Dodger blue. Welcome to the good side. It's like when Darth Vader at the very end, right before he dies, he says, "No, you already saved me." There you go. You're a good guy now. Value rooms are based on size, but you're not guaranteed Savannah, says Tina McNeil. We got enough points to stay for 8 nights during any parts of the year except for holidays in Savannah View Deluxe. Nice. Hey, Sandy. What's going on, man? Glad you're here. You were about to say something, Sean?
No, I was just saying she's right. You're not, when you take a value room, you're not guaranteed anything. We were lucky enough to get one, but you could get a view of the parking lot, a view of the pool. Yeah. You're not guaranteed it, but based on the points, usually you can add another 1 or 2 nights for the number of points that they charge you for that value room.
And Bill says, I knew he was selling, and Bill says that it does help him because he doesn't have to pay the commission now. So that's cool. So good for you, buddy. I'm still goals, right? Like hashtag goals. I want to be Bill. I have enough points that I want to sell some. I just want more points. I just want to go to more Disney, and I want like multiple blue cards, and I just want to live there. Okay, that was the correct explanation for ROFR.
Right of first refusal.
Rolling on the floor. No. Add-on-itis, Jeff. Yeah, right.
We all get that.
It's just, I do. I get a couple of times a month. I get those mailers, and I'm like, "Let's do math, babe." And she says, "No, we're not."
I hold it up. I'll show my wife. I'll say, "Look what we got in the mail today." She'll just look at me and she'll go, "No." You don't win if you don't ask. So.
I'm the happiest guy in the world. I'm nuts for my wife. I'm nuts for my kids. I'm nuts for my wife. Really hates humidity, and my oldest, who still lives with us, really doesn't want to move to Florida. And I'm like, I'm gonna miss you guys, and they're calling my bluff. They're calling my bluff. I could never. We just I gotta build this up. I gotta do some more things. I gotta do some side hustles, and maybe in 5, 6, 10 years I can get down there for a couple months. How often do you go down? Honestly, I think it's a couple times a year, Sean.
It's honestly average. It's about once a year.
Okay.
We've taken a couple of big trips where we take a year off because we'd bank or borrow points. I think it was 2016. We went over Thanksgiving, and we took some friends of ours with us, and we let our daughter take her best friend. So we did a 2-bedroom lock off. So it comes out this year. Last year we were supposed to go twice. There were 3 trips: a father, son, mother, daughter, and then a husband, wife. And then this year it was supposed to be 3 trips with just me and my wife. And obviously we didn't get those. So,
yeah.
Next year it's 3 trips at the end of April, 1st of May. And we actually extended that trip. So we're going to be in Hollywood Studios on May the 4th. So our goal is to be there then. And then we'll be there in September. At the end of September, we plan to be there on October 1st for the actual 50th.
Oh, wow.
And then we'll be first week of December.
Were points more for the 50th, or did you do it?
Well, for 2021 they adjusted the point total, so it's cheaper to go the first 2 or 3 weeks of September, and then the point totals kind of rise a bit at the end of September, and then they go up again the first week of October. So it's not bad. I mean, again, I think we're going to be there for 5 nights or 6 nights total, so it's not a huge trip. but we wanted to be there on the 50th in case they do anything crazy, like a 24-hour or something.
Cody Bellinger just saved a home run. Just had to throw it out there. So wait, 5 or 6 nights is not a long trip. So we usually do 4, 5 days, 4 nights. That's generally, that's not always, but that's normally what we're doing. We've done less, we've done more, but mostly we're doing less, not more. What's an average?
We were averaging anywhere from 8 to 10 nights when we would go. So we'd go once a year, but we would go when we did the Vero Beach and our first stay as DVC members. We were 2 nights at Vero Beach and we were at 9 nights at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Now, I will tell you, as time went on, those longer trips, this is going to sound like blasphemy, but it was too long.
Sacrilegious, whatever. No,
right. I mean, it got to the. It was. They were too long. I mean, with little kids, they were just too long.
I totally understand. Like, and as we talked about maximizing points, I would rather do 2 weeks than one time 2 weeks. Not. It's just you don't want to be too tired from your vacation when you come home from your vacation, right?
Right. So yeah, but I mean, over the last few years, our trips have been 5 to 6 days, and when my son and I went, we left on a Sunday, came home on a Friday. Now my wife and daughter, I gave them like 2 extra days, so they stayed a little longer. But
that's cool.
It's fun. So anywhere from 5 to 7 days. Now our next trip, I want to say 7 nights because we added a night so that we could be there on 4th, and we'll come home on May 5th.
This is your next trip?
Our next trip, and then I added a night on the front end. So instead of flying out on a Wednesday morning, we're flying out on a Tuesday night, and I was able to score a Riviera Tower Suite, which is a room that sleeps only 2.
Yeah.
So we're staying 1 night in the Tower Suite, 3 nights in a deluxe studio standard view at the Riviera, and then we're moving over to Kidani for 4 nights.
That's cool. See, I like that. Paula doesn't like that as much. I don't mind it. Let's put it that way. I like it. I do. I like seeing a couple. I don't mind packing up and going to another place. Paula doesn't like it. I do that because you do it. You've done that more than once.
Yeah, we've done it a few times. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like repacking and all that, but my wife absolutely loves it because for her, she loves staying at all the different resorts.
I'm with her on that one. I really am.
And I kind of see it. A lot of people say, "Why are you going to Disney again?" And it's like, but if you stay at a different resort every time you go, even if it's you haven't stayed in Animal Kingdom in the last 3 trips, and now you're staying this time, it feels like a different trip. Yeah, you go to the parks. But I can go to the same theme park, that's 2 hours away every year that's by me, like everyone around here tends to do. But now I'm just going down there. But it's a different resort. It's a different experience. And we all know the Disney immersion of the culture there. I mean,
I love seeing the street signs when they're different. I love being on Disney property. I don't care if it's All-Star Movie or the Poly. I mean, I do. But I love them all. Ball game, Dodgers win. Yeah, baby. I just, I think when they say welcome home to you when you're DVC, it should be illegal because it so gets me. It's so I
get giddy.
I'm not, marketing doesn't work. I guess it does. I'm about to lie. I don't feel like marketing works on me. I feel like it's mostly hokey. Maybe it's because what I do for a living and how I use it, but Disney, I am the fish biting deeper onto the hook. I just love it. Throw a lei on me, say welcome home. Let me smell the poly. I am so in.
I get like that when you walk up to the to swipe your magic band or scan it to go in and it turns purple and then the cast member says welcome home at the park. Yeah. I get all tickled when that happens.
I do too. I'm such a wimp with that. I used to act I used to think I was this tough guy. Now I'm like, yeah, I'm crying. Whatever.
Right.
Frozen's on for the 80th time this week. I'll tear up. D, you did not lose your blue wrench. I don't have mods anymore. I love you as much as I used to, blue wrench or not. You are just as awesome as ever. I just don't have mods anymore. So I'm glad you're back. Well, you haven't been here for a while. If you just noticed that, it was a while ago. D, welcome home. Ooh, see what I did there. Wayfinding with Emma says on our January trip is a split stay. See, I like those. 1 week at Old Key West. We're doing that one in New Year's Eve trip, I think. And 1 week at Saratoga. That was the first week we did. You've done Saratoga Springs. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Where's that fit in your list?
Sir, we did a split stay and we stayed at Saratoga and Old Key West few years ago, and it was okay. It's a really big resort. Luckily, when we were taking those trips, we were driving from Indiana down instead of flying because it's cheaper to drive than to fly 4 people, to Florida. So it wasn't so bad because we had our vehicle, so we weren't relying on the bus system.
Yeah.
But,
I've only done one trip where we did the buses, and we did it to try it just because, I don't know, everybody liked it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that ever.
No. When we did the father, son, mother, daughter trips, we didn't rent cars, and we all had to ride buses, and it drove me nuts because
we did the first with the car there. That's how dumb we were because we thought it would be an experience. We're like, this is dumb. I like it.
Our second trip that we ever took was in 2008. We stayed at Caribbean Beach Resort, and we drove. And I'll never forget riding. We had the van. We got on the buses. It was because they made every stop all the way around before they took off, and it was just painful.
Yeah, I remember. Good.
So we come back to the resort to swim. We learned that our kids had to have that afternoon break. We couldn't, storm the parks all day, and so we came back, swam, rested, and we were going back. I said, you know what? Let's drive. Let's see what it's like driving. From that moment on, I'm like, I am never riding another bus. I do not want to ride.
I won't ever again. I remember, I think we did 2 of the days, and we're like, this is dumb. We're not doing this anymore. Actually, to be real, I think somebody was in our. Yeah, this is what it is. We had another person in the group, and they just really wanted to. And anyway, whatever. It is what it is. But day 2 or maybe day 3, we were at the Animal Kingdom, and I was tired, and there was no place to sit, and I'm sitting there sweating on the sweet old lady, thinking, this will be my last time I'm ever on this bus. I don't know. I like the freedom of a car, I guess, right? And
it's again, I don't have nothing against the bus. I mean, if I have to ride it, I'll ride it. But I like the freedom of the car. It's more comfortable.
Yep.
I can take, I'm not standing in a line to get on a ride to go back to the resort, especially with the kids when they were younger. Because our first trip in 2006, we flew in when Orlando was getting hit with Tropical Storm Alberta. And so for the first 2 days of our trip, it was rain ban after rain ban.
Wow.
And it was like waiting out in the rain to get on a bus. Our daughter she's 4. She was soaked. She hated it. And
I would never.
It's like, I'd just as soon get to my car and be more comfortable
Yeah,
riding.
we'll often pay the little extra park up front too. And they load us
now
down.
That I won't do. I'm too cheap for that. I'm like, we'll ride.
Oh man, it's worth it. They give you like 8 waters, and that's worth it. Especially on a rain day. Are you kidding me? My big trip last year: 3 nights Riviera, 3 nights Animal Kingdom, 2 nights Boardwalk, then 5-night cruise. That was great. Was a bit long. See, again, goals. I want to be able to say a little bit long for me.
Right.
I haven't done that yet. Bloomin' Cheesin'. Are you married? I'm married, but I'm married. Mars in the house. What's going on, Mar? I'm glad you popped in. Hope you had fun playing trivia or whatever. One Stop Mouse in the house. What's going on? One Stop Mouse. Long time no see. Not really, but I'm glad you're here. Welcome back. Yep, we're driving in January just so we can have a car. I don't mind the drive. We were drivers, non-flyers, because we had 4 daughters. But now that we've done it for 20 years or whatever, I like it. Like I like it a lot. I mean, I guess you can't always do it, but wifey really wants to fly there to use every day. I don't mind driving and checking out, a national park in Mississippi or hitting a beach and fly. I mean, I'm in no rush when it's on vacation, but she wants to get there.
Well, see, that's me. I want to get there. I don't, I'll stop for gas. I'll stop.
We need to do like a family. I think me and your wife, and then you and my wife.
Right. Right. I mean, I don't, it's cool if you want to go see a landmark. I don't have to go see that landmark. I just want to get to Disney. I mean, the last 2 times we drove, I actually drove straight through 16 hours instead of.
Paula will do that. She won't even let me get behind the wheel because I'm like, no, hey, look at the sign. She's like, shut up. We're driving through. Monarch Moments in the house. What's going on? Minivan was a great service when it was available. Yeah, they're all gone, right? I think that's a done deal. I hope they come back someday, but I don't think anything that's gone away, we should assume's gone away for forever.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. All industry, all business, all companies are going to modify, relook at. I mean, the truth is we're going to cut off the fat, and some employees aren't going to come back. Hey, Jonathan, what's going on, buddy? And some events won't come back, and some services won't come back. And I wonder about that with the minivan. Best advice. You've gone 10, 15, 20 times more DVC than I have. Best advice for someone who's thinking about joining DVC.
Well, being biased, I wish I would have done it sooner. So the sooner you can do it, do it. if Disney's where you want to go. My advice is, though, don't buy into it if it's going to be a once every 4 year trip. It's got to be something that you really want to do, and you're really going to go there. I mean, because if you're not going to go, it's really not worth it. So that's what I would tell people if they're thinking about buying. It's got to be what you want to do, and it has to be right for you. If it is, then jump in.
Yeah, if you're going,
just jump in the cold water.
I totally agree. Bloomin' Cheese. I was mostly kidding. I'm happily married, but I mean, I don't want to kick your sister out, but let's go. No, I'm just kidding. That's sweet. That's sweet. I was texting my sister this morning or this evening, and good. That's awesome. But anyway,
Tommy, you're right. Bye. You're right, Tommy.
Bye. Yeah. Bye. I want more. I mean, most of the thing, I'm happily an executive director of a nonprofit, and we have a nice life. We're not rich, we're not poor, we have a nice life. We're fine. We don't have enough to do a lot of extra stuff. That's why I'm starting to dive into all these side hustles. And 100%. You want right into my soul. 100%. It's about DVC points for me and my grandkids. I want to hang out with them, with Tinkerbell and Mickey Mouse and Mufasa and I don't know, all of it. That's what I want to do. And if they all grow up to hate Disney, I'll hang out with them. But that's really what I want. It's 100% my end of life goal. Not that I'm, I don't think I'm leaving anytime soon, but.
And that's what I do. I mean, I have my full-time day job that I've been at the same company for 26 years. And so I love what I do. But I also have a couple of side gigs. I work out at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. If anyone has heard of that racetrack.
Turn left. No, they turn all kinds of ways.
Well, we have a road course in there. We also have a dirt track in there now. But I run the main campground during the month of May 500, really? Right? Yeah, so it's cool. But I do that. All those that side gig, all that money, it goes toward my vacations. It'll pay the annual pass or whatever we need it for. I don't do it. I do it for those reasons. Sure. I need something to do on the weekend sometimes. So
right, totally get it. And I totally love it. Okay, Tina says, we went on, I'm having trouble getting my voice here. We went on an Alaskan cruise, stayed one night in New York City, flew out to Anchorage, 2 nights there, 6 nights cruise. That sounds awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
I would love to do an Alaskan cruise. That would be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Paula's going to get me on a cruise at some point, but I mean, we kind of joked about the points, but whether it's my points or I'm using cash, it's still my vacation funds. It's still my extra money. So it doesn't really matter to me if it's Disney points or cash. It's still taking away from, like when people say, why do you go to Disney all the time? And I think it was somebody in chat mentioned, well, people go to Myrtle Beach every year. I think it was Tina, or they go to wherever they go every year, right? We go where we love. Wherever I'm going instead, every decision to go somewhere, come on. Every trip to Arby's is $6 that's not going to Disney. Like every decision on my extra money is about DVC points. Let's be real. Guys trip, I'm game. Bloomin' Cheese and don't even joke. Don't even joke. Let's do it. Sean, you in?
I missed the guys trip.
Guys trip.
Count me in. I'm good.
I didn't expect you to say no. Says Emma and Tina are jealous and Mars jealous, whatever. We'll have a co-ed trip too. I just want more. I want to be there more. I love the parks. I love the resorts, but I really love, I don't know, this is weird. I want to say I love the attitude. I want to challenge myself to go down there once and not go in the parks. And that probably sounds crazy, but hanging out at the Poly for 3 or 4 days, or even Saratoga or Philly, any of them, I think I would enjoy it immensely. Now I love the parks too, so I probably never do it because parks would be right there. But I like being there. I want to be there. I think I want to move. I love my job too. I think I want to work for them someday. I mean, I'm not done with what I'm doing, but maybe 10 years.
I think I said this on the Zoom call.
Tommy says I'm paid. Tommy's in, but Jeff is paid.
Tommy's in. All right, cool. I think I said this on
anyway. Sorry.
I think I said this on the Zoom call, or it might have been through one of the. I was just typing, but my daughter's in nursing school. She's in her first year of nursing school, and she's mentioned that she wants to move south. She doesn't want to live in Indiana, which is what it is.
I've never been to Indiana, but I don't want to live there either.
Well, I grew up here. I love it here, but I'm done with cold winters. I just want it to be hot all the time.
I like cold for maybe like 10 days. Like
I'm done with cold. I'm already starting to hate it, and it's only 50 degrees out. So.
Oh man, it was like 80s here today. We're supposed to we might get a freeze in a couple days, but like Tuesday of next week or something. But no.
Yeah, so she, she's talking about that. So I'm saying, hey, move to Orlando, because wherever she goes, mom's gonna follow. Because like right now, I'm saying let's move to Orlando. Mom's going, no, we're not moving to Orlando. But if daughter moves to Orlando, mom will move to Orlando. I get to move to Orlando.
I have 4 daughters. 2 have moved out and gotten married, had kids, and it is what it is. I don't want them to move away from me. However, one of them was just in Orlando looking at houses. I'm like, I really don't want you to move there. How did it go?
Right.
Please move there. I don't want you to move there. Please move there. I don't want you to move there. It is what it is. Tina is green along with other people Monarch Moments because they're members of the channel. Members of the channel turn green, which is a very cool thing. Kermit, they get access to some fun emojis, drop some emojis people to show her, and they bless me and my family with little support. So that's why they're green. I got rid of mods, so no wrenches, but we added membership. I hope that answers your question. So what's your favorite thing? We're coming to an end. We talked about pre-show. We talked, maybe we'll go half hour to an hour. We weren't sure. I knew me and you talking like, you know what else members get? Hold on. Members get a Zoom call, usually Zoom party on Fridays. We just talk, we yak for an hour, half hour to an hour, and just have a good time. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, you were about to say.
No, you were going to ask me a question.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, I thought you were.
My brain went away. I don't know. Garrett, people who choose to support Jeff as a channel. Yeah, there you go. Yep. And it's Michelle. Okay. Garrett, Michelle, let's call the whole thing. Anyway, well, what's your favorite thing about being DVC? I mean, for me, it's just what I just said, saying it. It's the membership of it and knowing that I've got an annual trip. What is it for you?
It's the same thing. I get to go to the place that I love. I get to stay in these different resorts with different personalities and I call it cultures, different cultures. And it feels different. The trips feel different. And when I'm down there, I don't read sports. I don't read news. I completely, as they say, go off grid. I go on to the Disney grid.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what's happening at home.
I'm stealing that. That's good. Going on grid. I like that.
Right. I'm going on the Disney grid. I'm going off the home life grid. The real world. I do take my work phone with me because I'm kind of required to, but I have to leave it. I leave it in the room. I'll look at it maybe at night or in the mornings, but during the day it's locked up in the safe. I don't look at it. It's because it's not fair to the family.
So I run a nonprofit, and 3 years ago I was in Epcot, and we have donors, and I got a call that I had to take. And we got a nice $10,000 donation, not to Jeff. I wish to Jeff, to my organization. But it's a funny story. I have a memory of walking down Epcot. My mom and my wife were talking. I'm walking with my mom's husband, and I'm taking this work call feeling very good about myself. So it's not always bad, right?
Right. It's not always bad. I mean,
Coca-Cola. So I can throw that out.
Yeah.
So Coca-Cola.
I mean, it's always, sometimes you don't want to come back to the hornet's nest, so you want to make sure if there's a problem.
True. I can't take it depends on your role, but I can't even take a week off without.
Yeah. So, and being a manager of people, you just can't. At least I can't. I can't just completely disappear. But I will limit how I interact for work. But I mean, yeah. Again, to me, DVC is just it's where I want to go. It's what I want to do. And it's just that simple. It's where I'm going to be. And I stopped explaining myself to my family and the friends that go, you're too Disney-fied. No, there's probably people worse than me. But these are the people that go to Myrtle Beach every year. Like I think Tina said, I don't go to the ocean. I go to Disney.
In case you're wondering, this is how you do it. I'm at Disney. How bad are you bleeding? Because if you're not, you're fired. That's how I do it. Anyway, it works. I love the Joe Kelly emoji. So yeah, a couple of you guys are using the members only emojis. My favorite one tonight is that Joe Kelly one. Joe Kelly being a Dodger. I think he closed out the game for us tonight. I've had a blast tonight, Sean. I mean, I've loved getting to know you. Before we're done, I hope I can take another 5 minutes of your time. We didn't really talk about basic Disney things. When did you fall in love with Disney? Did your wife bring it to you? Did you bring it to her? Did you guys meet because you both like Disney? I always love to hear those stories. When did you get the Disney bug?
So we planned our first trip in 2006. That was the first time we flew on Northwestern Airlines, which is no longer around.
Yeah.
We went to Disney, and the moment, I mean, it was just, hey, we got to take our kids to Disney one time. I'd gone once in my teens, and didn't remember much about it. But let's
once before I remember that.
It's our first trip. We're gonna go, and let's. And while I was there, it was not like, the local theme park that's 2 hours away that we would go to almost every year. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like going up to Chicago for the weekend to take our daughter to the American Girl store, which is expensive, by the way.
Yeah, 4 daughters.
Right, 4. I only have 1. So it wasn't like those kind of trips where we would go out, out of town for the weekend and do things like that. It was just, I don't know. I struggle with explaining it because I think a lot of the people here in the chat and you guys understand because you have that same love that I have for Disney. So it's easier to explain, but to someone that's not Disney, it's hard to. But I always go back to the culture, the way you're treated, the way you interact with the cast members there, the way you interact with other guests there. I mean, I can talk with just about anybody. My wife used to get mad at me because we'd leave church and it would take me 20 minutes to get out of church because I would stop and talk to people. I'm like that on vacation. We're sitting at the pool. Right. I'm sitting at the pool and I'm striking up conversations with people. The kids are playing with other kids. I mean, it's me. There's no place like Disney. Yeah. And that's where I go.
I love that. It's such a great answer. I'm glad I asked it. I'm glad you answered it that way. I totally can relate to everything you just said there. When I grew up in Southern California, we moved out here 10 years ago now. It's been about a decade. And we run after school programs. And so one of the things we do, we'll have baseball card collecting club. We'll have, all kinds of fun things. Well, one of the things we always did was a Disney fan club. And so when we started out here, kids were like, wait, what? We're going to watch some movies? I'm like, well, I mean, I guess we could watch some movies, but no, we're going to do all these other things. And they're like, I don't even know what this is. They didn't know what any of it was. Like I moved out of the Disney bubble having no idea that there was a Disney bubble. Like I moved here and people are like, what? And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's Disney. And they're like, yeah, I don't care. Like, let's go to the Texas State Fair. I'm like, what? People go to the Texas State Fair and drop more in a day than I do in a day at Disney. Mm-hmm. And they're loving it. And the corn dog sucks, but they think it's really good. Like, I don't understand.
By the way, Sleepy Hollow at Magic Kingdom now has the corn dog that they make in Disneyland.
Wait. Sleepy Hollow in Magic Kingdom?
Magic Kingdom is now selling the corn dog that's made just like the corn dog in Disneyland, the famous corn dog in Disney.
My wife needs to know that.
I just read that today.
If you look at my body and her body, you can tell that I'm the corn dog guy in the family. But she can't go to Disneyland without eating that corn dog. She made me have one. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been a decade now. The last time
when we did that one band trip, I got one when we were there, and now apparently Sleepy Hollow right there in Liberty Square.
Okay. Well, tomorrow morning on Good Morning Disney, we'll probably have to talk about that, among other things. 9:15 my time, 10:15 Eastern time, Monday through Saturday, Good Morning Disney. I'm putting down here, I don't know why it doesn't say that now. I've had a blast tonight. Anything you want people to know about you? I dropped the Instagram place. Where else can they find you, Sean?
That's it. I mean, I'm on Facebook, but it's more with family and things like that. I am thinking about starting YouTube and
I would push you towards that.
Well, that's what I mean. You've got me.
It's fun. You should.
You got me thinking that after that. I think a couple of shows ago that I watched where you were like pushing, there needs to be more, and I'm thinking I may do that. I haven't decided 100% yet, but I mean, I have a channel. I've started it. I've kind of wrote stuff. I've not made any videos or done anything. But
any way I can help and/or nudge you, I am in. It's funny, somebody was. I get people all the time sending me notes about when their anniversary is on YouTube, and it popped up on my phone. My 4-year anniversary on YouTube is pretty soon. I'll leave it at that. It's coming up quickly, and I'll have a video hopefully. And I've been telling people, meaning it the whole time, that I started this channel, but I didn't post anything for a while. Turns out I posted the very first day that I had this channel. So I've been lying to myself and everybody for quite some time. So I don't know. Stuff happens. I interrupted you. What were you saying?
Oh, I don't remember.
Now Walt Disney World needs the Disneyland churros. So I'm not going to say that I was fit before Disneyland churros because I'm plenty fat now. But the Disneyland churros at DCA outside of Tower of Terror, when my wife Nope. Me and my wife would sit there, and my daughters and whoever they brought as their friends would go up and down, up and down, up and down on Tower Terror. We would eat 2, 3, sometimes 4 churros, dip them in caramel. Oh, so good. Yeah, I think that's what happened to my abs. So they can find you on Instagram.
I may at some point.
Future.
Yeah, I think at some point you'll probably find me on YouTube. Yeah, it was funny because my wife and I think I told you this before, we walk about 3 to 5 miles a day. And on our walk today, I was kind of talking about, when we stay at these next 3 resorts, I'm going to really record the rooms and what they're, all the amenities and stuff. And I am putting that on YouTube. So
good.
So I did break down and buy me a gimbal. So I do have a gimbal. I just haven't used it yet.
You have a gimbal?
But I bought a DJI Osmo 3.
You're a YouTuber. You just haven't posted yet.
I just haven't done anything yet.
I love it. Yeah. You're making my day. Jonathan says there's no place like Disney. There is no place like Disney. Taps red slippers, looks down slippers.
Will that get us there if we do that?
I don't have any red slippers. I like Ruby Red. I like Dorothy. I like Dorothy more than I probably should. We'll leave it there. Why don't we try? But I don't think it's going to work. Sean, I appreciate you spending your time with us tonight. Everybody in chat, 21 of you still here. Whether you just got here and you were here for a minute or you were here for the whole hour, thank you so much. To the members of the channel who are in green and dropping all those emojis, thank you guys for blessing me and the channel. Good morning, Disney Saturday, or Monday through Saturday. Tomorrow morning, we got a lot of news items. Like I have a ton of news items. I wish, and I've been busy at work lately. I have a busy day the rest of the week. So we might get a backlog, but my point is there's all kinds of Disney news right now, including Disney responding to the state of California. I guarantee I'll be talking about that tomorrow.
Yeah, I was reading that. I was reading that earlier.
It's hard. Like I have a very large political opinion, and I don't try to share my politics on this because who cares? I don't care how people vote. Why would they care how I vote, right? I just want to have fun, but it's hard to not talk politics right now. Jeez. Anyway, driving me nuts.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And this was fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, let's not make this the last time, and I can't wait to I'm going to annoy the heck out of you until I see.
Oh, I know you are now.
Over 20 videos.
That's
Thank you. Bloom and Cheese, thank you. Oh, the drama, right, Emma? My goodness. Oh, from one of my favorite drama people. Not drama in the back. Actor person. Anyway, whatever. Tina, Emma, Bloom and Cheese, Jonathan, Monarch, me, everybody else who's in chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. Go Dodgers! By the way, Friday night, Disney Pins Live may or may not happen. Depends on the Dodgers. I got to be honest. I just figured game 2 tonight. It would be okay. By Friday, it might not be a problem. And please, if you're a prayerful person, please pray for game 7. If you're not a prayerful person, I mean, start now.
I hate to say this, but that means you have to root for the Rays at some point.
I will never do that. My girls, they've been asking.
I'm just saying.
No, if the Dodgers win in 4, 5, or 6, I will be super happy. And if we get to 7, I mean, you want to know a secret? I'm already God's favorite, so I kind of expect it to happen. But we'll find out together. Michael and Bella's Travel Channel in the house. Welcome in. We'll see. I'm just saying.
See what happens. I'm rooting for you.
I'm rooting for me too. All right, that's it. Have the best night ever. Have fun storming the castle. Again, Good Morning Disney tomorrow morning. Kadani Sean, his Instagram. Let me drop it one more time. And get over to his Instagram right now. So when he drops the first video, you'll be one of the first people to see. Shawnee lives in Texas and still roots for the Dodgers. Yeah, baby. Dodger Blue. All right, I'm going to shut up now. Have fun storming the castle. Captain Akron, I'm glad you're here.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See ya.